Okay, going to do an oil change on a 2014 Scion IQ. First things first, come in here, pull the hood. The latch is right in here. And where is it at? Okay, it's right in there, and you just lift it upwards. Actually upwards and to the left. As you're doing that, it comes up. I'll go ahead and show you that latch again. Up and to the left, which releases the lever right there, which is connected to that right there. Okay, and then you got this right here that you got to pull out, and you stick right in that little hole right there. You can see the little square part right there. That'll hold your hood up. Just one little quick thing, it's not this square, it's the one up a little higher. I accidentally put it in that one first and I realized it wasn't going in all the way. It actually goes in the higher one up here, just so you know. It probably would hold there, but just for safety reasons you're probably going to want to put it up here instead. Alright, now we're underneath on the left side, and that right there is the bolt that you're going to have to undo. And this is a wrench you're going to need. Best to have something short like this and not one of those long ones with an extender on it. It is a 14. That's the millimeter that you can use. There's also probably another one. I don't know if it's a 1/2 inch or I don't know, maybe it's a 3/4 inch. I don't know. You could probably get away with it, but I wouldn't. You might strip out the bolt. So try your best to get a 14. Okay, there's the bolt right there. And remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just do it real easy. Shouldn't be too tight. If it is tight, you're probably going to have to put a little bit of pressure in there. Okay, here's the bad part, because you're going to get your hands a little greasy. You can wear gloves. I just don't have any right now. But just twist it real slow. No matter what you do, you're going to get yourself a little bit of oil. Make sure you put the oil pan directly underneath it, slightly a little bit towards the back, because it's going to spray out like this. So, like I said, you're going to get a little dirty. Sorry, that's just the way it works. Unless you put a glove on. You can buy little plastic gloves. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. As you can see right there, there's the... Ow, it's hot. That's another thing. You want to make sure you run the car for a little bit to get it kind of warmed up. You don't want it to be cold, because then you don't get as much oil out. But that's the angle it's going to flow out. It's still leaking a little bit. I'll probably let it leak for about another 2 minutes. It's been leaking for about 2 minutes already. And that's what it looks like after about 2 minutes. So about another 2 minutes. Then I'm going to put the bolt back in. Also, when you're under here, if you're not going to use gloves, bring some paper towels with you so you can wipe off your fingers, just because you're going to need it, because you're going to be getting oil all over the place. Also, I like to put cardboard down, so if you have any used cardboard, or you can go get some used cardboard, put a bunch of used cardboard, because you don't want to be getting that on your concrete or grass or wherever you're doing it. Alright, the 2 minutes is up. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the bolt, just because it was greasy, so I'm going to clean it off. That's about what it's dripping at. You're never going to get it to completely stop dripping, so don't waste your time trying to get it all out. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and screw the bolt back in with my fingers. Just going to make it snug, and then I'm going to tighten it up with the wrench later, but basically like that. And then take a little towel like this, wipe around, and get it all real good. You're going to have a little bit of residue oil everywhere, but just enough to clean it up. Like I said, just make it snug. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can finish it up after you're done. Alright, now you got to take off the oil filter. And that is right there on the same side, just a little bit further back. There's the bulb, and then there's the oil filter right there. There are numerous things you can use you have adapters that you can put on wrenches, which is what I initially started out with, and they just fit right over the top, and they do the same job as this does, which is what I'm actually going to use, because those things right there will sometimes get stuck and you have a hard time getting them off. So I just go ahead and use this wrench. It's just so much easier. So it's the same thing. You come over here, push your hand back as far as you can, there's plenty of room, and then just pull towards you. Excuse me. There we go. And then just, you let loose, and it comes undone. Pull towards you, let loose, comes undone. It's real easy to figure out. It's not that difficult. And you're just going to do that until it comes undone. And then let go. And like I said, it's just a real easy wrench to use. You'll figure it out. But as you can see, it's coming undone. And you gotta push your oil bucket back, because if you don't, it's gonna spill all over the place, and you don't want it to do that. That's another reason why you want to put the cardboard down, because you will get a little bit of splash back like this right here. You just don't. All right, so you can see it's coming out now. Again, we're gonna have to get your hands a little dirty unless you got a glove on. That's just the way it works, people. Oh yeah. And then a little bit of that drip out a little bit. It's going to have a little bit of residue oil in there, just because. Okay, most of the oil's dripped out, so I'm going to turn the video back on. And this is also, oh, I guess we got some more. It's kind of hot, so like I said, without a glove, you're going to get your hand messed up. That's just the way it is. But it's not that hot. It's just kind of warm. Now this thing may, when you're pulling out, may fall in the oil. That's okay. Don't worry about it. That's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Oh. And just set it in the oil thing, because you don't want to be holding on that thing. That thing is hot. It's very hot. Do not hold on to it. Just gently dip it into the oil. Then you'll just let the rest of it drip out. It's going to drip out here for probably another 2-3 minutes. Just let it drip out. And then after you're done, we're going to move this out and then change everything out. Okay, just a little side tip for those of you who don't like getting oil on your hand. You can stick this in here, this right here, directly into there, and undo this beforehand, and the oil will drip out. I mean, if that's your thing, you can go ahead and do it. I don't do it. The oil doesn't bother me. I just clean my hands off with soap and water, or laundry detergent works even better. But you can stick that in there and twist it, and this will pop this little nozzle up. The problem is, when you do that, you're going to have to replace the little rubber thing. There's a little rubber thing inside there. You have to replace it. You do get that little rubber nozzle inside your oil, inside this. You'll see what it is. But I don't take it off. I just leave it there. It's up to you. It's your choice. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just a mechanism that they give to help people out who don't want to burn their hands, I guess. So if you got little girly hands, go ahead and take that off first. But I don't have a problem getting my hands greasy. Alright, this is what the inside of your filter looks like right here. Here's the old dirty filter, and that's the inside right there. For those of you wondering what I was talking about, if you stick this in there to begin with, while it's stuck up inside the engine block, you twist that beforehand, and it will come out, and the oil will just leak out like that, instead of the way in which I pulled it out this way and it all came out. You can do that as a pre thing, I guess, but I don't mind just taking off the whole thing. But I guess eventually you do have to kind of take this. Let's see if I can get it off. Yeah, there's a little rubber seal in there. You get another rubber seal in the container, as you can see right here. You get 2 rubber seals, one for this one, and then one on the outside right there. That's where it goes when you put it back on. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned this up with a little paper towel and got out most of the old oil. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it together. This is the number of the oil filter you need to get. I just use STP. I'm pretty sure it's fine. And all that specialty stuff I'm sure doesn't make much of a difference. But this is what it looks like when you pull it out. And that's what the old one looks like back there. But anyways, that's the number you're looking for. What you're going to do, you're going to take it. Doesn't matter which side you stick it on. There's no upside down on any of this one. But you're going to take it and you're just going to shove it right inside, just like that. It just goes right inside. Let me go ahead and show you that again. There, and then shove it on top, and then it just goes right inside, just like that. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is take this plastic lip off right here and replace it. I'm looking at it right now and it looks like it's fine. I could probably just put it right back on and it probably lasts 1 or 2 oil changes, but just for the safety of it all, I'm going to go ahead and change it out since they did give me a new one anyways inside this little plastic package right here. But like I said, looking at it, I could see it's probably fine. It could probably last 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5, I don't know. But like I said, they give you it, might as well just change it out. So you're going to have to use like a little knife or maybe a screwdriver or something to pull it off. Alright, I pulled it off, and let's see if I can show you where it's at. There's a little lip right there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the best place to stick your screwdriver or your knife or whatever to pull it off. Alright, open up your package. You got 2 new ones right here, 2 new rubber seals. One that's going to go on the top, one that's going to go in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. Okay, remember it goes right here on that little line right there. Before you put this on, the best thing to do is to dip it in some oil because you want to make sure it doesn't stick. And you do the same thing to the other one. You can use the old motor oil, or if you want to, you can use the new. I just always use the old, it's fine. And I'm putting it on, like I said, see exactly where it goes on there. That's where it goes. And I'm going to put the top one on. That one's much easier. It just goes right in. Just like that. And then you take this piece and you screw it right back in. You don't have to screw it in very hard, but I would hold on to it while you're screwing it in with that wrench right there and just make it really good. I mean, don't do it too tight, but just really good. Again, this is how you tighten it with this wrench right here, and then you just hold on to the bottom part and tight. Just make sure you tighten it real good, not too hard, but real good. Alright. Now we're going to put this back on, and I'm going to finish tightening up that bolt before we put in the oil. Okay, first we're going to do the bolt. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And what you want to do is just tighten it up good, not too tight, just, you know, just good pressure. It's not going to come undone, just basically just a good pressure. I don't really know what that means, but just, you know, just not tight. You're not trying to break it. You just a good pressure. Not a lot, just a good pressure. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Alright, now the part that's just a little bit more difficult is getting this in, but it's not too hard. Just like this. You can hear that noise. It just fits right in, and then you just slowly start turning. And if it feels like it's rough, then just pull it back out. Try again. You don't want to strip the bolts, so just keep playing with it till you get it. But you'll know when it's right and when it's not. That's right there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It should just go just like that. You may have to play with it a little bit, but like I said, when it starts doing that right there, and then it starts getting kind of snug right there, that's when you know you you got it right. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again for you so you see what I'm talking about, because this is not something you want to mess with. You do not want to strip those threads out. So just kind of just go like this, just kind of get a feel for it. Like I said, you may have to play with it a little bit. Like I said, see it's going in sideways, let's get locking right there. And you do this gently, do not do it rough. You just got to play with it just to get it lined up perfectly. And you'll know, you'll see just like that. Now you know, because it's just spinning nice and easy, nice and easy. And then I'll get a little bit of snug right there. I'll tighten as much as I can with my hand. Then I'll grab my wrench. You just go the opposite way, spin it around and go the opposite way you did it before. And see, then it just and there we go. And it's just about how many times, just kind of pay attention. You can see how many times it's probably going to take to get it in there. And it should be flush. See how you see a little bit of play right there? Just a little bit. Just keep going. And then boom. And then again, don't tighten it too tight. Just a good shove. Just a good shove. And boom, it's in there. It's not going to fall out. It's not going to vibrate out or anything if you just a good tight push on the hand. Like I said, you can see if it's flesh right there. You want it to be completely flesh. Just a side note, something I like to do is I just like to clean up some of the oil, just because I know that I don't want it dripping on my concrete and leaving little stains. So you don't care, but I do. Now all we have to do is put in the oil. Right there is the oil cap. Pops right off. There is the oil stick. Pull that out. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see it's kind of upside down. And there. Let's see if I can get it. I don't know if it's going to focus in on it. But there's an L and an F. The F is full. If it's below the L, it's low. If it's in the middle, you're good. So anywhere in between the L and the F is good. You want it closer to the F though. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, you're going to have one of these funnels to put the oil in, unless you're one of those guys that can do it without one. Some guys can. What's recommended for this car is SAE 5W20 synthetic. Make sure you get synthetic. You're not supposed to put regular motor oil in. Alright, when you're pouring this in, be very careful because you will overflow and spill it all. See, they're already spilling a little bit right there. But as you're pulling it, pushing it in, just go slow, there's no rush. If it starts to overflow, going too fast, just stop and pull it back. You're going to spill a little bit of oil. Like I said, unless you're one of those guys that knows how to do it perfectly. I'm not one of those guys. Okay, I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's 3.8 quarts is what you're supposed to put in. So you're going to have to kind of eyeball it. I can kind of feel it right now. This right here is 5 quarts. So I can feel I'm pretty much down there to where it's supposed to be. So let me see if I can give you an idea what that means. So it's about filled up to right here. So when you get to about right here, you probably want to stop and you want to dip that dipstick in and see where it's at. Alright, clean off your dipstick with a paper towel before you stick it in, and then you stick it all the way inside. All the way down till it won't go down anymore. And then you pull it out. You take a look at this, see where it is at. And mine happens to be just slightly below the full. So I did a good job. I've done it before, so I kind of just know how much to put in. maybe your first time, you just take your time and just keep doing this a few times. But like I said, I just kind of know how to do it on this car. But yeah, mine's just slightly below the F, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. All right, I added some more, and now it's almost exactly at the F, so I'm not going to add any more. All right, so go ahead and take down this. Put your cap back on. And if you're like me, and you like to clean up some of the oil that you spilt, and then put your dipstick back in. Alright, so the cap is back on, dipstick is back in, and then I pulled this out and I'm cleaning it off with the towels for the next time, because you don't want it to stay nasty greasy, because if you do, when you try to put the oil in next time, you don't want that nasty greasiness getting back in your engine. Okay, it looks like we're done here. Just got to take the oil and pour it down the gutter over there. Just kidding, just kidding. No, take the oil and you pour it inside a milk jug like this. Like I said before, just put the oil in an old milk carton and take it down to your local auto parts store, and they should recycle it for you. And then just take paper towels and clean all this excess out. And then of course you're probably going to spill a little bit. That's why I want you to have some cardboard, because you're going to spill a little bit out just because this thing's a little awkward. There are some specialty things that you can use, but yeah, it's normally you're going to have something like this, and when you're putting it in there, a little bit's going to spill out, so you're going to need a paper towel to clean it up. So use some cardboard. Alright, that's my video. Have a nice day. Just one last thing I thought I'd add on the video is you're going to need some wooden blocks to drive up on, or they have ones that, you know, they sell to you for 40 bucks at the auto store, but you're definitely going to need to drive up on these, put them in front of the tires, and then drive up on them, because if you don't, it's going to be way harder, because there's hardly any clearance underneath this car.